everyone, my name is Ibrahim al-Hadithi.
And I'm Naif al-Qahtani.
Today we are going to do interviews about the book Now I Choose. It's by Rick Smith.
And it's basically about the concept of free choice and how do we change negative thoughts to positive thinking, and what's the role of the power of emotion in our life and how does it affect us.
And now let's go do the interviews.
We're usually faced with negative thoughts during school or in our personal life. How do you change negative thoughts to positive thinking usually?
Recently we just started taking walks in the middle of long assignments because it gives you a chance to just take a breath, and kind of once you step away from your work, you go back and it's easier to get stuff done.
Yeah, it helps you unwind and put your brain in a different place.
And when it comes to the power of emotion, do you guys think more about logic things, or do you think emotionally about things?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
I think initially we react emotionally, and then once we can calm down and take a breath, we can think logically, but it's difficult.
Yeah. And that's why taking the walk helps so much, is you get that breather between the emotion and the logic side of it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
How does the power of emotion affect your life? Do you think more emotionally about things, or in general, or?
Yeah, I could say I am a very emotional person, but I just try to think of the things that I have right now and from which I'm thankful for, and makes me feel better.
Thank you. Yes. How do you change negative thoughts to positive thinking?
I just think about everything that's happened in my life, and that everything that I thought was negative, it turned into positive. So as long as I just keep positive thoughts, then I know that there's going to be a positive outcome.
That's good. And how does the power of emotion affect your life? Do you take things emotionally when you think about things?
I'm a very emotional person. I'm trying to get out of that, but I just kind of think of what's best at the moment, and I try to put my emotions aside.
Thank you.
Very negative thinker who I used to, every time I have an obstacle, I would just drop down the subject and not come back to it. But I learned how to overcome difficult things and overcome fear, be able to finish your project or homework or whatever and get through with it. Taking breaks is necessary. Eating, exercising could help as well, but that's all I can do.
What inspiration affected you in your life, and what made you change yourself?
Well, one of them is me coming to college, because in the beginning I was going to skip college, just work with my dad in his business. But my mom inspired me to go to college, to get myself educated, to have a better job in the future. I did that, I came to college, and I'm glad I did that, because I find it better, and I can meet new people, I can have more connections. I also can work with my dad while I go to college, but it's really better for me to come to college and not skip it. And I'm actually going to stay here and get my master's. I'm not going to quit, so that will get me better in the future.
That's good. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, hi. How do you overcome negative thoughts and change them to positive thinking?
The way that I overcome negative thoughts and change them to positive thinking is usually through plugging in my headphones and listening to music, or even going to a concert. And I guess that's a good exercise, jumping around, running around, and it relieves your stress.
How would you change negative thoughts to positive thinking?
Okay, well, usually there has to be, for me anyway, there has to be a little bit of a time where I sort of let myself be a little bit upset or whatever. It's not good to try and change too quickly. But then after a certain point, you sort of just have to find something that you found in the past that helps you sort of get over whatever those negative thoughts are, whether it's reading or going for a walk or listening to music or anything that you have to do to sort of take your mind off of those negative thoughts and help uplift you a little bit.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
How
do you overcome negative thoughts?
It's usually my pets are the ones that help me overcome it. I get home and So that's usually how I overcome negative thoughts.
How do you change negative thoughts to positive thinking?
A way I change negative thoughts to positive thinking would be, one, I would call up my friends and ask if they would like to hang out, because being around people you're comfortable with tends to make you feel better. And then after that, it's also a good idea to vent to them, not so much to where you sound annoying, but to get it off your chest of how you're feeling. That way you feel much better and you're not bottling it up inside.
Thanks so much.
Hi girls, I have a question for you. How do you overcome negative thoughts with positive thinking?
Do you want me to get this one? Yes. Yeah, okay. I believe in this saying, which goes, fake it till you make it. So whenever I feel negative, like I'm frustrated, I think that I cannot do something, I just fake it. I believe that I can, and eventually I do.
Oh, I have to answer that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, I'm just a positive person naturally, so I tend not to have negative thoughts, but if sometimes it does like come, I just always remind myself that life is too short, so it just keeps me going, I guess, to like not think negatively.
Okay. How does the power of emotion affect your life, and how do you work with it? Are you guys very emotional, or?
I'm not very emotional, but I don't know, like it doesn't affect me a lot unless something is really like a really bad thing that has happened. It might affect me a little bit, but I always try to stay focused no matter how, just so it doesn't affect like my daily life.
Yeah, I try as much as I can to separate my personal life with like work or school as much as I can, but it goes with what Ozzy just said. I just try to focus on what I'm doing and ignore my emotions.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Take care.
Hi, Abdullah. I'd like to ask you a question about habits.
Go ahead.
From personal experience, have you ever had a habit or something that you had to change and overcame this problem? Tell us something about that.
A bad habit I used to have would be I would always have to drink caffeine when I wake up in the morning, whether it was coffee, soda, or whatever, and that was very bad. I changed that habit through, I had this personal trainer back home. He inspired me into like becoming personally fit and exercising as soon as I wake up and have fruits for breakfast, and those gave me the benefits of waking up and not needing coffee or caffeine.
I want to ask you a question about if you had a bad habit or something in the past that you had to overcome. Was it difficult or not, and how did you guys do it?
Yeah, I have one, which is dwelling in the past, just dwelling in general, and I would say the way I overcame that was just living in the moment and like a type of mindful meditation approach to it, for sure. And it was difficult. It is a little difficult still.
Mine is similar. I guess mine's overthinking, creating anxiety in myself, and how I overcame it was writing. Write a lot and speaking about it, not holding it in. And it most definitely was difficult because you have to change your ways. Not always comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you very much. People are always talking about making a clean, fresh start, leaving behind a bad habit or starting a new habit. What will be something that you have changed in your life or overcame the obstacle in your life and you had to adapt to it?
Well, when I finished high school, I studied in Canada, and I adjusted myself to the lifestyle, the school, the people. It was hard in the beginning, but by the time I overcome my fear, the challenges, people were kind of different than the people I used to communicate with in my country. After adjusting myself, I had some situation which made me move to the US, and I had to experience a new lifestyle and readjust myself. It wasn't hard. and it wasn't easy, I would say that. But by time you know people, you overcome your fear, experiences from other people, other overseas students such as you, kind of. So by time I think, and just not thinking about it and just working on something that would improve you, I think that's how I overcome my experience, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say.
Okay, how do you... again.
People are always talking about making clean, fresh.
Yeah, I could say I'm a very emotional person, but I just try to
One, two,